Someone by the name of Gene Delasala would say that this is not necessary.
You say it's absolutely
but
necessary.
you would say that it is. Now tell us why something like this is necessary.
Well, I personally, myself, the way I look at it, if you're investing all the money in a system, you want the absolute best.
Yeah.
Even if you hear like 1% difference, it's worth it.
I heard that cables are the unsung hero of audio. So I think it goes without saying that JB's systems, both of them in this room, actually sounded phenomenal. That goes without saying. He's got this thing down to a science, from the room acoustics to the equipment to the cables. We didn't get to hear the wash system in the previous room, as you saw in the other video, but when we came into this one, I got to hear it, and it sounded awesome.
What system would you like to start with?
Well, whichever one is, the next logical step after the one we just witnessed.
Well, we should probably go to the home theater system, I think.
So JB's home theater system is straightforward. He's got a Denon 7200W at the bottom, Monster Power and Conditioner in the middle, and an Oppo 203 at the top. We didn't get to see this in the video and have him explain it, but it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, we got caught up in the speaker talk and in the McIntosh talk, as you'll see in a bit.
All right, so the home theater system is basically Mirage-based speakers. So we have, right up here, we have the front three. These are the home theater standard from Mirage, kind of a unique speaker. It's LCR, which means it's left, center, right. Means they're basically identical. The rears, actually, if you look at the rears, the exact same configuration. What really makes the speaker unique is the amount of mid-ranges. Most speakers would have one mid-range. We have actually two mid-ranges in this speaker. It's at an angle. So the big advantage of the angle is the sound dispersion. So when you play the system, you don't basically hear any speakers because the sound dispersion is completely intertwined. Well, they actually have a room boundary compensation switch that allows me to put them right next to the wall without losing any sound quality, which is important because I have my 2-channel system sitting right in the middle.
Now, what do you got for rears?
Now, for rears, we have the Mirages in the back. These are the, forget the model number, they're about 15 years old. But the big thing here is it's the exact same tweeter, so you get a perfect match. These are actually full-range center speakers as well. And they come into the store and they ask, I can't hear my rear speakers. Well, why? Because I'm using little speakers. You need big fucking speakers. Yeah, big speakers all around, you hear them without a problem.
We ended with cables before. I need to see the cables that have this, because these cables look like they have batteries in it. You're going to have to explain this one to me.
Absolutely.
I might have to put the flashlight on this so you guys can see this one, but check this out. Looks like we have batteries hooked up to these cables.
Well, we have batteries behind here too.
Oh, geez, we need to know what's going on here. I thought everything
Gene
was...
Delasala would not appreciate this. He would say I'm a nuts.
Gene Delasala. Sounds like some guy from Pioneer. Is that right?
This
Oh,
guy
no, Audio Holly. I know. Someone by the name of Gene Delasala would say that this is not necessary.
You say it's absolutely
but
necessary.
you would say that it is. Now tell us why something like this is necessary.
The way I look at it, if you're investing all the money in a system, you want the absolute best.
Yeah.
Even if you hear like 1% difference, it's worth it.
I heard that cables are the unsung hero of audio.
Well, these particular cables on this system, we were doing this system originally.
Yeah.
These are 100% silver. So it's an 8-conductor cable. So the first system is the Mirage system.
Okay.
Which is the 9.2 surround system.
Right.
So it's going to be those two sides, the 3 fronts, which are also double bi-wired with AudioQuest CV8 and CV6s, which are also with batteries.
Now, this is the kind of talk we talk about before you listen to it.
Yes.
We're looking at it right now.
You're looking at it right
and
now.
I'm pretty much enamored by this glossy finish right here, much more so than the washes of the Mirages. Check this out. This looks like it's glass.
It is almost, yes.
It looks like it's glass.
It's hard to believe it's a 20-year-old speaker, too.
Really?
20 years old.
Shit. How do you keep something like this this well maintained after 20 years? What do you use?
It's very simple, actually. The trick is, where's my...
No scratches. You know, sometimes you guys, you take a microfiber cloth and you go like that and you notice hairline scratches. What do? I don't even see a hairline scratch in this.
Well, this is
I'll put my phone flashlight on this and I won't even see any hairline scratches on this. So what's going on here, Jim? What kind of wizardry are you pulling here?
I do that.
Oh, okay.
Right? When I use them, I take them off.
Because there's molecules in the air, there's dust particles in the air that get on your speakers and they settle there.
The dust will actually settle on there and actually like commingle in there if you're not careful. So that's why I cover them like this. So what I do is I do that all the time.
Yep.
When I'm going to listen to them, I take them off. And we pop that over there, and I pop that over here. And then twice a year I have, I do leather conditioner. Because there's leather in the front, so I do leather conditioner. And then I have a lemon oil and a very fine microfiber cloth I use to do a very light thing.
That's straight up.
Silk driver for the tweeter.
Yeah, these are Dyna Audio Esotar silk tweeter. I think it's a ScanSpeak mid-bass driver. The speaker is actually made from, I think, 4 different woods. The outside is maple. The speaker box inside here is, I believe, maple. And then this is lime wood. And I think there's one other wood in there. Essentially built like a sailboat. Basically, it's a fusion of ancient technology from the age of Guarneri, Amati, and Stradivari.
Oh yeah.
With modern technology in the speakers. So it's a lute, what they call a lute shape. I believe it's the first speaker to have a non-box design, because it goes essentially into a triangular formation. There's no box colorations. So when you listen to it, basically you don't hear a box, you hear music.
You haven't explained that right there.
What's that? This?
That monstrosity.
That
okay?
monstrosity, yep.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
You haven't explained the curvature. Bill explained it to me, but everybody else hasn't heard it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. The curvature of the cables on the wall,
Yep.
the green bubble right there, and the CDs in the background.
2 things. It reduces the reflection from glass, because it's a window, which is bad, and it keeps the cold out.
Yep. Insulation, baby.
So basically, we keep the cold out and we reduce reflections. And
Who else? This dude, this cat is a certifiable genius. Who else would use just friggin' bubble wrap to absorb sound? Everyone else uses like these $1,000 sharp, pointy styrofoam sound applications.
On the door actually have this seal here. Not only does it keep the cold out, but it keeps the door from rattling. So when I open it here and then I close it, now the door doesn't rattle anymore.
Looks like it passes the resonance test.
And that's why I have these on here too. It keeps the glass from rattling. As far as the room goes, even though it's not $1 billion room, sonically it's one of the best rooms you'll ever hear, because first of all, it's the right size. It's not that big and it's not that small.
You know, when I came in here, it did feel pretty dead.
And you can do the clap test, and there's no echo whatsoever.
It doesn't go up to the ceiling.
So you have the jogs, 2 jogs, breaks up the standing waves. And plus we have all this shit up there that also breaks up the standing waves. And then the window, that was a big window that's covered. That prevents that reflection too as well. You notice anything unique about the room? The ceiling?
It's not flat.
It's not flat, and what else is it not? It's not sheetrock.
Right. Oh yeah, it's wood, right?
It's a wood ceiling. So basically, it's very easy on the reflections compared to a sheetrock, which would have, pretty nasty reflections. So it's very warm sounding.
Right.
We've increased to what size now?
5 feet.
And we've also included better equipment.
Much better equipment, yes.
So not only bigger, not only taller,
Yeah.
but also better sounding.
Yeah,
Why?
much better sounding.
Why? What do you have there? Let's get closer. I think
Yeah.
people want to see
Move
a
right
closer look at what you got, because a lot of people love the McIntosh look.
So what you might want to do is we'll film when I turn it on. It's very cool. See if you want to get this. So what's unique about this system is this is their reference stack front end. So it's the C111 system, which would be the pure analog tube preamplifier, and their controller, and then the pure digital D11. All 3 boxes together, it's actually one single box. Now I'm going to click it on. There's going to be a warm-up phase.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. So when the tubes turn green, it's ready to rock and roll.
It's ready to Hulk out.
Takes about 2 minutes. So there we go. It's now ready to listen. We can turn all the lights on. Actually, I'll turn this light on for you too. I'm going to rip in front of you real quick.
So you haven't explained what this is. What?
Yes.
This is the
So there's your
amplifier.
There's your classic Mac right there. Right, so this is the brand new MC462, which is their latest top of the line 2-channel amplifier, 450 watts, 8 ohms, 6 ohms, 2 ohms. Class AB design, extremely warm, unbelievable sound staging.
Now, when you say warm,
Yeah.
you don't mean it runs warm as in hot. You mean
No, actually, runs very cool. Actually,
it runs cool,
runs extremely cool.
but it sounds.
Sounds very warm, very listenable, especially when matched with a tube preamplifier.
Now, can you explain to us what kind of cables you got here
Yes.
and why you have them set up in this fashion?
Absolutely. Well, the main reason for this is obviously you don't want your cables to touch, so you want to try and reduce any type of interaction. So this was like a 4-day job doing this, running all the cables, making sure nothing was touching. These are the CV8s from about 10 years ago. They're 100% silver. Expense now if you were to buy these, they'd probably think I'm crazy, but if you were to buy the new equivalent, are about $100,000 for this length of run. It's actually two 20-foot pairs. So I got 2 complete 20-foot runs going through each speaker instead of a single speaker. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
So you're bi-amping. You're not doing just.
Well, no, it's a what they call a full range bi-wire.
Oh, okay.
The way it is. So everything's like done here at the end, which is pretty complicated for me to figure out how to do. The advantage of silver, obviously, it's got the best conductivity of any.
Can you explain the tails?
The tails, yes. The tails actually, the way I understand it is when signals go into the speaker, there's actually a backwash
Right.
from like almost a reverb or a backwash kind of thing. So this actually absorbs that. So the amp weighs 115 pounds. It's a 2-man job to move. Bill will testify to that.
So if I were to give it the test that I gave it before,
Oh, the 1-finger test. Yeah.
so
You're gonna break your finger.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
pretty
gonna hurt
sure.
your finger.
I'm pretty sure one of 2 things is gonna happen. It's not gonna pass the 1-finger test, or I'm gonna break my finger.
You're probably gonna break your finger.
Well, let me tell you this: I'd rather have it not pass the 1-finger test.
Yeah. Give it a shot, right?
Ah, that's not moving.
That thing came
That's
packed.
not moving. What about
an
this?
Aircraft engine.
What about this? I heard a rumor, or maybe it's true,
That he glued his stuff down.
no, that this is the only sound equipment, to be exact, that Jack Nicholson uses in his home.
Could be possible.
Where did you hear that?
I don't know. Maybe our subscribers can,
All right.
tell us.
Who
tell
has
us a
that
little bit
kind of
more.
information handy?
I think I heard that Jack Nicholson only buys McIntosh audio equipment. This dude will not buy a Sonos speaker. He will not buy an Ultimate Ears UE Boom. He will not buy a Google Play 5. He will not buy a Logitech. Whatever. Nothing.
Only quality. Only the best.
Only
for Jack.
McIntosh. And you
Well,
already know.
After 70 years, you know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. More importantly.
It's kind of like when someone's working on a car and you hear them using the wrench that goes one way and then it goes drr, and they put it another way and then it goes drr, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know they're actually working. We're right here for audio equipment. If you see these things in there in a little window, that's how you know it's doing something.
Oh yeah.
And then you also have these
And
things
something
that have
powerful to be
meters.
exact. The meters too. Exactly.
So you have 12 tubes, 6 in the front, 6 on the top. The 6 in the front are the analog section, and then the 6 on the top are the preamp. And if you can see them, it's hard to see, but you can see them glowing on the top too as well. All right, so you have pure analog tube on the bottom, with the front 6 doing the analog output. The top 6 are doing the phono preamp. 3 for moving magnet and 3 for moving coil. This is the controller, so this supplies the power for this and also does the switching as well. The reason why we do that is to completely isolate this from any noise.
Right.
So no noise that comes through the electrical system can get into the preamp. And then to do the digital, because I'm a digital guy, I'm not an analog guy, we have the D111. Which
That looks
is
pretty
metal.
analog to me though, right there with those tubes and meters.
Well, this is pure analog. So, but as far as the source goes, what I listen to, I'm a digital guy. So the source is actually the D111, which is this middle piece.
All right. Can you explain, just break down one thing, okay?
Yep.
Show us where the music starts and each section. Now, some is power, some is signal.
Right.
Now, just show us a sequence in which the signal comes into something and goes into power and that kind of...
Either at the computer or at the streamer.
Okay.
All right, so I have 1 terabyte solid state drive in the Mac. I use a special, not server, what I use, a software from Audirvana to play back, so I don't use iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
So that allows me to do up conversion to either direct stream digital or the very high PCM to this piece. So I can actually do 354 by 8, or I can do the DSD 128 through the computer.
Okay.
Tremendous upgrade, I think, to my ears when I listen to it.
Yeah.
Some people say it doesn't make a difference, but I think it sounds better, whatever that's worth.
Well, you have
depends how many beers I've had too.
But you also have the
very
equipment.
important.
You have the equipment.
If I have enough beers, anything sounds great. So my library is stored in here, which would be all these CDs and all these CDs you see over here. It's about 2,000 CDs. And then when I want to stream, I use the Marantz piece. That's an NA 8005. So I can do Apple Music, Tidal, all the streaming services I can do through that. Now the D111 is a chameleon piece. You could actually buy this alone and not buy any of this and use this only as a preamp, but it's only digital. When I combine it with the C111, it becomes a one piece and it becomes a DAC only. So it's very versatile. So you can actually buy this piece, use this for preamp, digital preamp, and then in the future you could add these two pieces if you want to.
All right. So now this is feeding into this.
Right. This feeds to that, and then if this goes to this up converts to 352 by 8, or the DSD depending on my mood, and then if I do the streaming, it's 44.1.
So then the signal you're outputting goes to your amplifier.
Right.
And then this amp feeds that amp.
Well, this goes to this, and then it goes to this.
Right.
And then that goes to the amplifier.
Okay.
Right. This doesn't do anything. All this does is control stuff.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. This
so there's volume and source.
This is just control. Gotcha. Okay.
That's all it does.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So no signals being sent from other than control signals. Gotcha.
Correct. When these three pieces are connected with the special cables, it acts like it's like one box.
Right.
You see 3 boxes.
Jim, can you tell us how much this rack costs?
Which rack is that?
Just this 6-foot rack that we're looking at
right here.
This entire thing.
This is 20,000 right here. Not counting this stuff.
Accounting that stuff plus that block on the bottom right there.
Well, this would be this is 20,000 for the 3 pieces. This is 1,200. I think the new piece is 1,200. It's discontinued. The computer was 800, and then I put a solid state drive into it, so that brought the computer up to about 1,000. Then this piece is basically electrical noise filter from Monster Cable. That's really old. That's probably about 1,500 for that. Oh, and then we have the power supply for the cables. I forgot that. That's over there. So some of the cables have what they call active shielding. The ones that glow blue are connected to that. The active shielding is kind of like the battery system that AudioQuest uses.
DBS.
From a different company, basically. The MC462, that's McIntosh's latest top-of-the-line 2-channel amplifier. So again, I think 450 watts, 8 ohms, 6 ohms, or 2 ohms. It's their classic design. They've been using this design for probably about 40 years. The big advantage of this one is, they use new technology.
And it's all handcrafted.
All handmade. The big thing with this would be, over the old amp, would be a much higher filter capacitance. So it has bigger headroom, so it sounds more relaxed. And it has these things called thermal tech output devices, which basically warms up exceptionally quick within 5 minutes. And the amp runs very cool. Like it's been on for like 3 hours. I turned it on before we went out, and you can't even feel it being on.
Yeah.
My old amp, I had like 2 Mark Levinson systems before this, and that amp would heat the room up to like 70 degrees.
I've been here when it's done that.
Yeah, it gets really hot.
Now what's the tag on that thing?
What?
The price tag for that?
I believe it's 9,000. I think.
So you're looking about 30 grand between these 3 pieces and that piece.
This is 150 pounds.
We're gonna have to get low for that one, guys.
That was custom made. I don't know if it makes it sound better, but it looks nice.
So what's the Stony Creek base supposed to do?
Well, Stony Creek, it's a marble. I'm not marble. It's granite. That's from Brantford. It's very unique because they use it in a lot of building materials.
Brantford, Connecticut.
Brantford, Connecticut. I have no idea if it sounds better, but it looks great. It was very nice. If you look at it, it's almost like a jewel. It's almost like a jewel piece the way it's.
I see that. All right, guys. So we saw JB's systems all in his house. Let me know what your dream system is in the comments below, and please give this video a like, a share, and a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next one.